Briefing on November 13, 2024, the impact of Trump's re-election on the Las Vegas real estate market. 1. Following Trump's re-election, real estate agents in the Las Vegas area hold a cautiously optimistic view of the local real estate market's prospects. 2. The uncertainty surrounding the election results has had a greater impact on the market than the results themselves. With the market now clearer, both buyers and sellers are re-entering, leading to a resurgence in market activity. 3. Home prices continue to rise, nearing historical highs, yet sales have hit their lowest levels since 2008. Trump's election, declining interest rates, and positive responses from the stock and cryptocurrency markets all indicate an economic recovery. 4. Las Vegas is facing a real estate crisis due to multiple factors, including limited land development, high interest rates, population growth, soaring mortgage costs, and a slowdown in housing construction. The Trump administration's push for deregulation in the real estate sector and the development of more federal land could lead to a construction boom. 5. However, tariff policies may increase construction costs, and large-scale deportations of illegal immigrants could lead to labor shortages in the construction industry, further driving up wage costs. 6. While the Trump administration may relax regulations on the real estate industry, interest rates are expected to remain at 5% to 6%, requiring buyers to be mentally prepared. 7. Although political factors are significant, the performance of the real estate market also depends on other market forces, such as interest rates and local policies, which have historically shown strong resilience to risks. In summary, the impact of Trump's re-election on the Las Vegas real estate market remains uncertain, but there is an overall cautious optimism, with market activity expected to rebound, focusing on deregulation, rising construction costs, and interest rate levels. Time briefing. November 13, 2024. Key points asterisk. 1. After Trump leaves office, significant changes in international relations have occurred. Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the war between Israel and Hamas and Hezbollah mark the end of the post-Cold War era. Upon taking office, Trump will face diplomatic challenges, including reaching compromises on border issues with Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Iran, and China. 2. The Nebraska Supreme Court has ruled to change how continuous sentences are calculated for Lancaster County Jail inmates. Under the new regulations, each guilty verdict will deduct 15 days of good behavior credits, meaning some inmates will serve longer sentences. This ruling has sparked dissatisfaction among public defenders, who argue it contradicts the lawmakers' original intent. 3. Historically, war and gambling have been linked. Soldiers gamble to alleviate the stress and anxiety brought on by war. Some gambling games also draw on concepts of war, such as risk, strategy, and reward. Modern casinos widely use warrior imagery and elements to create an atmosphere that attracts players. This connection reflects humanity's universal pursuit of uncertainty and risk. Overall, these articles cover Trump's diplomatic challenges post-presidency, the impact of a judicial ruling on inmates, and the deep historical connection between war and gambling. This briefing succinctly summarizes these points, reflecting the core content of the articles. National Geographic Magazine briefing on November 13, 2024. The Stanford Prison Experiment, Uncovering the Truth, delves into this infamous psychological experiment. The latest documentary series from National Geographic takes viewers through the 6 days of the Stanford Prison Experiment with unprecedented exclusive access, revealing a wealth of new findings and archival materials. The series interviews participants, including prisoners and guards, many of whom share their stories for the first time. These accounts unveil the motivations of lead researcher Dr. Philip Zimbardo and explore broader issues such as human nature and the power of perspective. The series also brings participants back to the simulation's filming location to relive key moments and seek consensus and answers. Endurance recounts 2 milestone Antarctic expeditions. Directed by the Oscar-winning director of Free Solo, this documentary tells the incredible survival story of Captain Ernest Shackleton in Antarctica in the early 20th century. In 1915, Shackleton's ship, the Endurance, sank in the icy seas, but he led 27 crew members safely back. More than a century later, an expedition team named Endurance 22 set out to find the wreck. The film showcases the power of human unity and resilience. Alcoholism gene research offers new treatment insights. A medical research team from the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism has identified genes and proteins associated with alcohol use disorder, AUD, by analyzing gene expression in brain cells. The study found that different types of AUD may be linked to various genetic factors. This discovery highlights the need for further research into the genetic mechanisms behind alcohol consumption behavior, aiming to find new treatment methods and strategies to reduce AUD and harmful drinking behaviors. Briefing: the impact of motherhood on women's career development. Traditional views suggest that motherhood negatively affects women's career advancement. However, recent research indicates that this motherhood penalty may not be long-lasting. A study from the Institute for the Study of Labor, IZA, found that among over 18,500 Danish women undergoing in vitro fertilization, IVF, treatment, while they experienced a short-term motherhood penalty after giving birth, they caught up to the income levels of childless women within 10 years and even experienced a slight motherhood premium 15 years later. This finding challenges the long-held belief in the motherhood penalty and may influence discussions on family policies and women's wages. However, the study is specific to a particular population, necessitating further validation of its general applicability. Grubhub sold. American food delivery company Grubhub has been sold to European food delivery giant Just Eat Takeaway for $650 million, significantly lower than Just Eat Takeaway's acquisition price of $7.3 billion in 2020. This marks the end of Just Eat Takeaway's unsuccessful journey in the U.S. market. Analysts believe this transaction is a positive move for Just Eat Takeaway, as it allows the company to focus resources on core markets in the UK, Ireland, and Northern Europe, despite the lower valuation. Ryan Seacrest's performance on Wheel of Fortune. In the latest episode of Wheel of Fortune, host Ryan Seacrest exhibited rare impatience. When two contestants hesitated too long in choosing letters during the bonus round, Seacrest interrupted multiple times, urging them to speed up. Audience reactions were mixed. Some felt Seacrest was too harsh, while others believed the contestants were taking too long and needed to decide more quickly. This incident sparked discussions among netizens about Seacrest's hosting style. Overall, this briefing comprehensively summarizes the core content of 3 articles, highlighting the most valuable information points while concisely summarizing the entire articles, achieving a complete and focused effect. Briefing on November 13, 2024, Uncertainty in the Taiwan Strait Situation. Article Overview *. In the 2024 U.S. presidential election, Donald Trump has been re-elected. This raises concerns in Taiwan regarding the future of U.S.-Taiwan relations. Trump has stated that if elected, Taiwan should pay for its defense. This contrasts with the previous U.S. policy of strategic ambiguity towards Taiwan. The article points out that Trump's second term may bring uncertainty to Taiwan. China is continually strengthening its military capabilities and conducting military exercises around Taiwan, demonstrating its determination for reunification. Trump may demand that Taiwan pay for its own defense and could even use Taiwan as a bargaining chip in negotiations with China. To address this situation, the article suggests that Taiwan should 1. Strengthen its national defense, including developing new weapons such as drones. 2. Maintain close contact with the U.S. Congress and tech sectors to garner more support. 3. Develop contingency plans to respond to potential military actions from China. In summary, under Trump's second term, the situation in the Taiwan Strait faces increased uncertainty, and Taiwan needs to adopt proactive measures to safeguard its security and interests. Scientific American Magazine Briefing. November 13, 2024. Key points *. 1. Significant astronomical discovery *. A rare gravitational lens in the galaxy, named the rotating lens. This lens consists of a galaxy cluster 5 billion light-years away, whose strong gravity magnifies 7 more distant background galaxies between 760 million and 1.2 billion light-years away into multiple images. This phenomenon, known as gravitational lensing, provides astronomers with unprecedented opportunities for deep observations of the universe. 2. Regarding this discovery, astronomers state that if transient events like supernova explosions occur in these magnified background galaxies, they could observe up to 4 different time images, providing extremely valuable information. This could help astronomers better understand the behavior of dark matter and dark energy, as well as the early evolution of the universe. 3. New research on Uranus*. A brief probe by Voyager 2 in 1986 may have left us with a misleading impression of Uranus. New research suggests that the probe coincided with a rare solar wind event, leading to an abnormal state of Uranus's magnetosphere. This indicates that our understanding of Uranus may need to be reassessed, such as the activity of its moons, which may not be as inactive as previously thought. 4. In the future, NASA plans to send a probe to Uranus around 2032 to conduct a more comprehensive study of this anomalous ice giant. This will help us better understand the formation and evolution of the entire solar system. Overall, these latest discoveries and plans show that even celestial bodies we have already explored are still full of unknowns and surprises, warranting continued in-depth research. Scientific exploration is never-ending, and we look forward to more exciting discoveries in the future. Briefing: Nature magazine's latest report indicates climate change progress may exceed expectations. 1. New method for measuring global temperature rise *. British scientists propose a new method that pushes the baseline year back to 1700, more accurately reflecting early industrial emissions. The new method shows that the global average surface temperature has risen by 1.49 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels, while traditional methods indicate only 1.3 degrees Celsius. This new method is simpler and more user-friendly, providing support for policymaking and education. 2. The 1.5 degrees Celsius target may have been breached *. The 1.5 degrees Celsius target is the core goal of the 2015 Paris Agreement, with many countries and companies making corresponding commitments. New analyses indicate that global warming has approached or exceeded 1.5 degrees Celsius, suggesting that the target may have already been breached. Even a brief exceedance of 1.5 degrees Celsius could exacerbate climate disasters, necessitating heightened attention. 3. Challenges and methodological shift *. Changing the global climate report card may spark controversy, with accusations of moving the goalposts. However, existing methods also have limitations, failing to accurately reflect the impact of early industrial emissions. The new method offers fresh insights for diagnosing climate change trends, but its widespread adoption remains to be seen. In summary, Nature magazine's report provides a new perspective on climate change monitoring, indicating that the pace of global warming may exceed expectations, which is significant for formulating more targeted response measures. The controversy surrounding the methodological shift also warrants attention and further discussion among the scientific community and policymakers. Briefing: Reflections on candidates within the Democratic Party and the Republican Party's information strategy. The article primarily focuses on the 2024 U.S. presidential election, exploring the Democratic Party's internal reflections on candidates and the Republican Party's strategies, particularly those of Trump's camp, in information dissemination. Key information points *. 1. Democratic Party's internal reflections on candidates *. Democrats often criticize and reflect on candidates after electoral defeats, believing various issues exist with the candidates, yet this reflection often does not align with reality. 2. Republican information strategy *. Trump and his camp have adopted a scatter information strategy, widely disseminating both true and false information through various channels, allowing this information to circulate among the public and form a common-sense perception. This strategy starkly contrasts with the Democrats' micro-targeted marketing approach. 3. Changes in public information reception *. With the rise of social media, the way the public receives information has changed, relying more on incidental exposure rather than active searching, creating favorable conditions for Trump's information strategy. 4. Social division and preparedness. The article also mentions that some individuals have begun preparing for potential social unrest, including purchasing weapons and stockpiling supplies, reflecting a certain degree of societal division and tension. In summary, the article reveals the Democratic Party's reflection dilemma and the Republican Party's advantages in information strategy, foreshadowing potential division and unrest in American society. This information is valuable for understanding the current political landscape and future directions in the U.S. Briefing: remote work enhances colleague intimacy, yet employers favor traditional recruitment and retention strategies. Article summary: 1. Remote work allows colleagues to better understand each other's lives through video calls, enhancing intimacy. This contrasts with employers' demands for employees to return to the office. 2. Despite the ongoing talent war, employers continue to rely on long-standing recruitment and retention strategies, as they focus too much on issues like being poached by competitors, dealing with a tight labor market, and ongoing cost-cutting pressures, neglecting the more fundamental issue of providing a sustainable work experience. 3. We need to be wary of those who may be competing with us in secret, as they might express their competitive mindset through nonverbal signals, such as prolonged staring, microexpressions, and mimicry. Such behavior could harm our friendships and overall happiness. In conclusion, these articles remind us that in both work and life, we need to focus on our own development while being cautious of those who may become competitors, to maintain healthy interpersonal relationships. Employers should also prioritize providing employees with a sustainable work experience rather than simply demanding their return to the office. Briefing: Vogue magazine summary for November 13, 2024. Key content overview: 1. Anna Wintour has invited Anna Sui to serve as guest editor for the December issue, which excites and worries Sui. Ultimately, she decides to accept the challenge, not wanting to regret missing the opportunity. 2. In her first meeting with the Vogue team, Anna Sui expresses her desire to fully unleash her creativity in this issue and hopes to invite Kaya Gerber as the cover model, with photographer Stephen Meisel and artist Anna Wayant shooting and illustrating the cover, respectively. 3. The article also touches on President Trump's hostile attitude towards the media, as he has repeatedly defamed and sued journalists while attempting to limit media freedom. This raises concerns about further suppression of media freedom under Trump's second term. 4. Nevertheless, mainstream media outlets like the New York Times and the Washington Post continue to report on negative news regarding the Trump administration and expose scandals he has tried to hide. However, overall, public fatigue towards Trump has spread, making it difficult for the media to regain previous economic benefits. In summary, this briefing comprehensively outlines the preparation process for Vogue magazine's guest editor, as well as the impact of Trump's media suppression on journalism, highlighting key information points while succinctly summarizing the core content of the articles, achieving a balanced effect. Briefing: the political landscape after the 2024 U.S. election and the influence of tech giants. Summary: After the 2024 U.S. election, Republican officials finally acknowledge election security, yet election denialism has not completely disappeared. Tech giant Elon Musk played a significant role in the election, with his company set to benefit from Trump administration policies. However, Musk and his supporting groups also face legal scrutiny. Additionally, the Trump administration plans to appoint Musk to lead a government efficiency committee, which could lead to significant federal budget cuts, causing economic hardship for ordinary Americans. 1. Election security acknowledged by Republicans, but denialism persists. After the election results were announced, Republican officials finally recognized the 2024 election as free and fair, yet election denialism remains a concern. Some continue to question Vice President Harris's performance, implying previous election issues. 2. Tech giant Musk's role in the election. Billionaire Musk is a major financier for Trump, and his companies are set to receive substantial federal contracts from the Trump administration. Trump also plans to appoint Musk to lead the Government Efficiency Committee, which could result in significant federal budget cuts, impacting ordinary Americans economically. 3. Legal scrutiny for Musk and his supporters. *2 lawsuits have accused Musk and his supporters of violating state or federal laws during the election. Additionally, Musk's platform X, formerly Twitter, has been accused of spreading a significant amount of misinformation. In summary, the political landscape after the 2024 election remains complex, with the influence of tech giants continuing to expand, warranting close attention. While election security has gained consensus, election denialism still poses risks. Musk and his supporters' actions have also raised legal concerns. Briefing: Rolling Stones legend Keith Richards' 9 lives. Keith Richards, the guitarist of the Rolling Stones, is often referred to as having 9 lives. Based on multiple articles, we can summarize the following key points. 1. Keith Richards has experienced numerous life-threatening situations, believed to have cheated death 9 times. These experiences include: in 1944, the bed he was lying on was destroyed by a Nazi bombing. In 1965, he nearly electrocuted himself while performing in the US. In the late 1960s, he almost suffocated when fans surrounded his car with a scarf. In the 1970s, he survived 2 house fires and an overdose. In the 1970s, there were rumors he had died from a drug overdose. In 1998, he fell at home and punctured his lung. In 2006, he fell from a coconut tree in Fiji, requiring brain surgery. 2. Despite these near-death experiences, Keith Richards has ultimately survived, earning the legendary title of having 9 lives. 3. These thrilling experiences have become legendary stories in the history of the Rolling Stones, highlighting Keith Richards' resilience and rebellious spirit as a rock musician. In summary, these articles vividly describe Keith Richards' 9 lives and his extraordinary experiences as a legendary guitarist of the Rolling Stones, leaving a lasting impression on fans. Briefing: New directions for Wired magazine. 1. The Wired editorial team states that although the results of last week's U.S. presidential election were not what they hoped for, Wired's core values will not change, including a steadfast respect for democratic institutions, a commitment to human rights and bodily autonomy, and an acknowledgement of the severity of climate change. Wired will continue to maintain independent, rigorous reporting and investigative journalism, especially as the U.S. enters this new uncertain political period. 2. At the same time, Wired firmly believes that technological advancements and scientific discoveries will improve human life and bring unprecedented possibilities. They believe the internet can still be a place for finding community, connecting across borders, and accessing information and entertainment. Wired will continue to focus on emerging trends, outstanding creators, and provide the latest and smartest product reviews and buying guides. 3. In future reporting, Wired will closely monitor the Trump administration's policies, revealing new information that helps readers understand what is happening and its significance, covering areas such as surveillance, privacy, AI regulation, climate change, and reproductive rights. Additionally, Wired will continue to provide insightful in-depth reporting and engaging cultural content, bringing hope and enjoyment to readers. 4. Furthermore, Wired has discovered that AI companies like OpenAI, Google, Meta, and Anthropic have extensively used copyrighted content from quality publications in training large language models without adequate disclosure. This has sparked copyright infringement lawsuits from publishers, reflecting the conflict between AI companies and content creators. In summary, Wired will continue to provide independent and innovative reporting across political, technological, and cultural fields, offering readers comprehensive and in-depth information and insights while conveying positive values and hope. Briefing: Shocking family murder case reported by People magazine. On November 13, 2024, People magazine reported a shocking family murder case. 78-year-old Marilyn Kepler wrote an 188-page diary in prison, revealing the horrifying criminal history of her brother, Donald Dean Stott. According to the diary, Stott is suspected of multiple murders and has connections to organized crime groups. Kepler recalled several violent incidents she witnessed, including Stott beating rapists and hiding bodies. She also indicated that Stott may have killed over 100 people and buried victims in a remote area of Iowa. These allegations align with claims made by Stott's daughter, Lucy McKeedy, over the years. Although unverified, the testimonies from both families have garnered significant interest from documentary production companies, which have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars to conduct an in-depth investigation into the case. Additionally, the article addresses issues within Nevada's election system. Democratic Senate candidate Jackie Rosen was trailing on election night but ultimately won thanks to mail-in ballots, raising questions about the election process. The article notes that this situation undermines the credibility of the election and calls for reforms in Nevada's election system, such as requiring mail-in ballots to be received by Election Day. In summary, this report reveals a shocking history of family crime while also reflecting current issues within the U.S. election system, warranting attention and further exploration. Briefing: Key points from The Atlantic magazine. 1. NVIDIA is in the early growth phase of continuous advancements in artificial intelligence capabilities. Analysts predict that NVIDIA's compound annual revenue growth rate will reach 38% over the next 6 years, with profit margins expanding to 65%. 2. The 2024 U.S. presidential election is exceptionally intense, featuring dramatic performances from Republican candidate Trump and grand rallies from Democratic candidate Harris. Both parties frequently invoke the imagery and messages of the Founding Fathers, emphasizing the urgency of a 1776 moment. 3. Harris's campaign concluded in Philadelphia, where she attempted to inspire voter emotions with a Lockean rise-to-power narrative. However, whether it is Harris or Trump, this election largely reflects support for or opposition to Trump. 4. Anne of Green Gables, as a classic children's literature work, continues to attract numerous tourists to Prince Edward Island, Canada, to see its inspiration. This work showcases themes of friendship and loyalty, becoming a treasure of world literature. In summary, this issue of The Atlantic covers various aspects, including the development trends in the artificial intelligence industry, the intense U.S. presidential election, and the lasting impact of a classic Canadian literary work, providing rich content and valuable information worth reading. Briefing: Trump's second term will bring profound changes to the U.S. political landscape. 1. After Trump's re-election, he will significantly adjust U.S. foreign policy and national security strategy. He may withdraw from NATO, reduce U.S. military presence in Europe, and shift focus to competition with China. He may ease sanctions on Russia and even establish closer ties with it. He may adopt a more aggressive stance towards China, including trade wars and military confrontations. 2. On domestic policy, Trump will pursue a more radical conservative agenda. He will implement substantial tax cuts while increasing tariffs on imported goods. He will aggressively promote fossil fuel production and relax environmental regulations. He will undertake large-scale deportations of illegal immigrants, potentially using unconstitutional means. 3. Trump will further undermine the independence of government agencies and strengthen control over them. He will purge disloyal officials and appoint more loyal candidates. He may attempt to dissolve or restructure key agencies, such as the National Security Agency and the National Labor Relations Board. 4. In summary, Trump's second-term policies will significantly shake the U.S. political landscape and international standing, posing unprecedented challenges to the American democratic system. This will not only impact U.S. domestic affairs but also profoundly alter its global role and influence. The following is a briefing summarizing the core content of multiple provided articles. As the 2024 Martian New Year arrives, China's Zhurong rover has discovered evidence suggesting that an ancient ocean may have existed in Mars' northern hemisphere. Researchers have identified several water-related geological features, such as crater-like cones, channels, sedimentary pathways, and mud volcanoes, which they believe could be remnants of ancient coastlines. These findings not only further support the theory of a past ocean on Mars, but also propose possible scenarios for ocean evolution. On the other hand, scientists have discovered that a Kenyan wheat weevil larva can decompose polystyrene, marking the first instance of such a capability among native African insects. Researchers hope to develop more efficient and environmentally friendly methods for plastic waste disposal by studying the enzymes of this plastic eater. Additionally, after Trump's election as U.S. president, he began forming a new government. He appointed former Congressman Lee Zeldin as the head of the Environmental Protection Agency, raising concerns among environmentalists. Zeldin holds relatively pragmatic views and may relax restrictions on fossil fuel development while supporting the revival of the automotive industry. This could contrast sharply with the Biden administration's green policies. In summary, these articles cover various fields, including Mars exploration, solutions to plastic pollution, and changes in U.S. politics, reflecting the latest dynamics in technology, environment, and political landscapes. Briefing: the second-century plan of the African American Methodist Church in Scotland. On November 13, 2024, the Smithsonian Museum hosted an event celebrating the 100th anniversary of the African American Methodist Church in Scotland. This historic church, built by slaves, now faces severe challenges from natural disasters. Martin Luther King III called for collective efforts to save this religious site, a symbol of freedom. He noted that this aligns with the vision his parents had when establishing a beloved community. During the event, diverse religious leaders expressed their support and emphasized the importance of interfaith collaboration. Additionally, the event highlighted the church community's revitalization efforts in the 1960s and the role of youth in realizing Martin Luther King's dream. The museum also introduced the evolution of religious diversity within Black culture. In summary, this event not only celebrated the history of the Scottish Church but also emphasized the importance of interfaith cooperation, community cohesion, and youth involvement, injecting new vitality into this historic church.